Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, please like, share and subscribe. I'm going to be reacting to Cash Jordan. Great guy, I love his content. I'm going to be reacting to the food waste he's found in New York City. You know, I've been to New York years ago, 2016. It was alright, it wasn't too bad, you know, but what I'm watching, what I'm seeing today, man, New York looks like it's going down the tubes, I think, from the garbage waste to defecation to the crime. So we're going to react to this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this your experience? Is this what you're listening to? Is this what you're hearing about New York City? Every time you hear New York, you just want to know, when can I go? Because it used to be a great city, you know, in terms of the Statue of Liberty and the World Trade Center. It has so much history, so it's a shame to see what's happening. So we're gonna react to this without further ado. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the other side. I wanna know. Please like, share, subscribe.
New York City pays over $30,000 a day for meals that are supposed to feed asylum seekers living in this hotel, but instead those meals are winding up in the garbage. Why is that happening?
This is all food. This is fresh. This is good food.
Demand at a food pantry in the Bronx is greater than ever before. But city budget cuts have limited the amount of people the pantry is able to help.
More than 1,000 New Yorkers who help to keep our city parks clean are expected to lose their jobs. This is one of many impacts of budget cuts announced last month.
This migrant crisis is far from over, and just last week, more than 30...
And that's what happens. I'm gonna not stop the videos, but that's what happens when you cut the budget of your town, of your city, of your neighborhood as a mayor. Everything else will suffer. Let's keep watching.
800 migrants arrived here in the city.
Food insecurity.
So videos of prepared meals being thrown away, those are incredibly disturbing for several reasons. First, those meals were supposed to go to asylum seekers, many of whom have come to New York City by bus from the southern border, but for some reason they never made it. They went into the garbage instead. Perhaps the meals were inedible, or maybe the recipients just didn't want them, or maybe they were never distributed in the first place. We're gonna figure that out, but there's another reason this is disturbing, and that's because you've got 1.2 million New Yorkers right now who are struggling to feed themselves and their families, and the food pantries that they rely on are running out of resources.
So those amounts of people are struggling, and yet people are throwing food in the garbage. It's how wicked people are. Let's keep watching.
Yet there's food in the trash at the exact same time, which also doesn't make a lot of sense, especially when the mayor is making massive cuts to the fire department, the police department, and school programs, and funding to charities that help feed hungry people living in New York. And the reason these cuts are happening is because the city is struggling financially under the weight of an asylum crisis and a mass epidemic of homelessness. There are over 100,000 people right now living in the city's shelter system, and it's at capacity.
And just last week, more than 3,800 migrants arrived here in the city. More than 150,000 migrants have passed through New York City's shelter system since last spring, with more than 67,000 migrants currently in the city's care.
That's an incredible amount of people, and most folks are arriving here at this bus terminal in Midtown. 3,800 people a week? That's almost 16,000 people a month coming to America seeking asylum. And not only are the folks arriving here in need of food, so are many New Yorkers. And that's why the idea of food being thrown away is pretty crazy, especially when it's thousands of dollars a day. It doesn't make any sense until you start digging. So here we are at the Row Hotel, and videos have come out from whistleblowers of thousands of dollars of food that looked perfectly good being thrown away at this very same building.
This is bags and bags of food being thrown away. This is all food that is going to waste. This is insane. This is fresh. This is good food. Good food.
This looks really bad for a whole bunch of reasons. But first, it's important to understand that the Row Hotel is a 1,300-room former luxury hotel, 44th Street, 8th Avenue, right by Times Square. It opened in 1928, which makes it 96 years old. But around 2020, it went bankrupt. And in 2022, the owners of the hotel signed a contract with the city to turn this building into an emergency shelter. But part of running the hotel as a shelter means feeding those inside. And although this part of Midtown is surrounded by places that can prepare food, they didn't use local businesses to prepare food for the people they need to feed. No, they got the food somewhere else. And although on the surface, reports of wasted food make it seem like the people inside the hotel were ungrateful, for the free meals, there's potentially something else going on here. According to the New York Times, the meals that were thrown away are from a medical services company called .go. And apparently this same contractor used to provide viral tests when those were in high demand here in New York, and now they've switched over to providing asylum seeker services of various kinds. Apparently their contract with the city is worth $432 million, and there's some sort of investigation going on. And apparently this was a no-bid contract, which essentially means that the company being asked to provide the services was the only company being considered. So whatever price they came up with, it's kind of like take it or leave it. And according to the New York Times, the company's being investigated for the potential mistreatment of asylum seekers in its care. And the video the whistleblower took at this facility is from 11 months ago, but this New York Times article, this is from about a week and a half ago. So the story is still taking place. It's an ongoing issue. And what's crazy is the amount of money, wasted food winding up in the trash is costing the city. The city's contract with .go has the meals pegged at $11 each. And from October 22nd to November 10th, over 70,000 meals provided by this company were thrown away, which means that $776,000 worth of resources that could have helped somebody, anybody, even just one person here in New York, helped nobody and ended up in one of these things. And since the amount of wasted food is almost $40,000 a day, after 30 days you're looking at over $1 million in wasted meals.
Asylum seekers are sharing their side of the story, explaining why they're not eating the food.
Residents here point to pasta covered in grease and meatballs still frozen in the middle. They're pushing back today after shelter staff told the New York Post they were wasting tax dollars.
Okay, for $11 each, I think people could expect better quality than what appeared in that video. And if that's what they're serving people, no wonder folks are complaining. Maybe the quality's just inconsistent. The whistleblower's video shows perfectly good meals in the trash. These videos show low quality, partially defrosted, airplane-style TV dinners that I don't think anybody wants to eat. But it's also recently come to light that not every meal the city pays for gets eaten. And that's because the city is estimating how many meals they need and buying them ahead of time. And that's why some of what doesn't get eaten ends up in the trash either way. But the people who are being served the food, they're the ones saying that it's the quality. It's not the fact that it was available or not.
This mom of two says sometimes the food smells bad, rotten, and every time the children eat the food like that, they get food poisoning.
Now, what I'm not too sure about is why people would say the food is terrible and claim that it's making them sick if it's not. What could possibly be the end game to that? But if you've ever eaten somewhere and gotten food poisoning, your desire to go back to that place is not at all on the table. You're probably not going back. You don't want to take any chances. That's not where I ate. I actually ate at Chipotle. I haven't been back since. And if people were going from this hotel's cafeteria straight to the hospital, it's no surprise that folks are being a little extra careful. And the New York Times also reports this company lowered their meal prices to around $7 from $11. How they were able to make those price reductions isn't mentioned, but some critics say that because the company's trying to save money and so is the city, this could be part of the issue. And what's crazy is you can get meals right now for $11 each from a company like Factor, and these are like TV dinners. I'd be willing to bet that these all get eaten and not thrown away. Either way, some food waste is bound to happen because everybody here is getting pretty much the same thing, or at least the options they are getting are somewhat limited. But what's crazy is these foods, they're containerized in little packages, which could easily be placed in an outdoor community-style fridge. There's hundreds of these in New York City. Anyone can just walk up and take what's inside if they want. Here's the nonprofit website where you can track them. Look, there's one right here down the street over on 10th Avenue. We're on 8th Avenue. And community fridges, they sprang up during 2020, and at first they were full of food. But now that people have returned to work and inflation's pretty high, there's less resources to go around, and a lot of them are empty. It's very sad. But it could be that the city is bound by health regulations that forbid them from doing this. But even if that is the case at a facility like this, one thing is for certain, which is that while there may be excess food in the city's shelters, local pantries and distribution centers that rely on city funding can't say the same thing.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave it there. But it just goes to show I've been to New York, man, and what I'm seeing here is absolutely ridiculous. They're not looking after the city, food going to waste. Something needs to be done, man. But hey, I'll let you be the judge. From what you've seen so far, New York, is it going down the tubes? Is it going to improve? I'll leave it up to you. So I'll see you on the next video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be bringing you more. Shout out to Cash Jordan, great guy. I love his takes and I love how he actually does investigative work. So that's fantastic. So I'll see you on the next video. Please keep safe, be healthy, one love, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, see you soon.